Hi friends, happy Monday, 19th of July, 16th week in Ordinary Time. I am camping with my family this week in the Grays River, so I hope you have a fabulous week. I'm recording these a little bit early, so many blessings to you. I'll give you a reflection. There's a link to the readings over on the side. Prayerfully read those, spend some time with the Lord. We are reading the book of Exodus and the Gospel of Matthew right now. Exodus, we have the beginning of the Red Sea story. We'll catch the second part of it tomorrow. Actually, I want to direct your attention to pray with the psalm more than anything else. The scholars tell us that in ancient cultures, song and rhythmic sorts of storytelling, that's not the right word though, rhythmic, poetic ways of speaking would have been first, right? If you ever wound up studying the Iliad or the Odyssey or other sorts of ancient things, epic poetry is easier in an oral culture to remember than are random words that would be written down. And so the more ancient story of the Red Sea is actually contained in this psalm than in the narrative. Maybe just read it. Pray with those who have found deliverance in the Lord, who have trusted and have discovered that God has fought against the forces of chaos and darkness and against their enemies. One thing I'd point out about the narrative from the book of Exodus, twice in this passage we have God making Pharaoh's heart obstinate. And I know that we skipped over in the lectionary, we skipped over the plagues last week, but I know that that's one of those places that people will fixate on. God forces Pharaoh to do things that Pharaoh might not want to do, and thus, Pharaoh is himself a victim of God in some people's recognition of this. My understanding of the 10 plagues is that half of them are Pharaoh's stubbornness, and half of them the scribes ascribe to the God making the heart of Pharaoh obstinate. My understanding of that is that one of the preoccupations of the scribe is to give absolute agency to God, that God is not a victim of circumstance, but rather God is the God of history. So I share that with you. If you get hung up about the obstinacy of Pharaoh, recognize that probably is more about the preoccupations of the ancient writers than it is anything that we would judge to be inspired by God in this text. And actually, I think that this stubbornness, this desire not to change, might segue usefully into the gospel. Jesus is condemning his own age. He's condemning them for their refusal to change, to see with new eyes. And he speaks of Old Testament figures, the Queen of the South rising to condemn this present generation. I don't want to stir up shame, right? I mean, there's so many ways that can happen. But perhaps to just look at actions in our lives, or maybe to think again of God who desires to transform us in love, to transform us in that merciful gaze. Are there ways that we are resisting being transformed by the love of God, right? One of the ways that I might be very familiar with is busyness. Listening to that voice that says that usefulness is defined by busyness rather than by love. Could be other voices, right? The common idols of our present age. The voice that says that it's the opinion of others, or measuring up to a standard of, this is what an employee or a mom or a dad or a person does in these age. That you're defined by your bank account, by your ability to control or to secure, by the memories you have that you post on social media. Are there stubbornnesses in our hearts, obstinacy within us, choices that we're making to listen to the voice that isn't transforming love? Perhaps today we might offer our own obstinance of heart to the Lord and just ask that the transforming love of God might knock down a few of our barriers. All right, there you go. Red Sea, Queen of the South. The Lord is covered in glory in the psalm. Click that link, read those readings prayerfully. Enjoy some time with the Lord. I'm camping. We'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday. God bless.